I've already talked about one MCU Phase 4 project, might as well talk about another. And no, not She-Hulk, the entirety of the internet has done like 5 videos on it and why the MCU is, not as good and why they've fallen out of love with it. And at this point, I've just become a passive watcher of this franchise, not even bothering with some of them. But the important question is it as bad as some people say? Kind of. It's got some underdeveloped characters, stupid plot points, and it's not very scary, but before any of you say, well, I bet you can't do better, I present to you Virgo. I play James Stone, and while I admit I don't give my character a lot, and that's, kind of on me, because we made our characters, like the actors, my acting's not that bad in the film, and it isn't really that dumb. Still has flaws, his pacing could be better in his characters, but yeah, there's that. Feel free to check it out. It's also a horror film, just, I guess, more overtly horror, I guess. And with that shameless plugging out of the way, I want to address some things. I don't just want to jump on the MCU hate bandwagon. I haven't seen She-Hulk and I don't really care to, but maybe I will. Most of the shows haven't been good. And if you like this film, that's great. I know it has fans and I enjoyed the hell out of it and I don't regret seeing it in theaters. And in case anyone who started in it or worked in it sees this, you did a good job, especially the VFX crew, obviously, considering all this stuff, as well as the actors, obviously. But yeah, so don't feel offended. And if there's any misconceptions to clear up, feel free to do so. But with that said, let's start the review. The film starts with America Chavez and Doctor Strange running away from the booty tickler to...
I know, but in the grand calculus of the multiverse, your sacrifice is worth more than your life.
Well, that went well. He gets his booty tickled, but America Chavez escapes because her powers really only work when she gets afraid. As we go to our version of Doctor Strange, as he goes to the wedding of his former partner, I think, because, it's been like half a decade since he was on Earth. Christine and Strange talk, and apparently Christine's husband is a big fan, so that alleviates his fears, and he can rest peacefully knowing that she's getting fucked by a man constantly thinking about how cool his cape is. Wait, did they not recognize him without the cape? Strange makes a giant cat eat a car to stop her from crushing a lady. He reveals a monster who I guess could hide. Cool. He gets America Chavez out of the bus, and not once does Strange or Wong, who later shows up, tries to summon something like the cat to rip apart its head, or hell, even do that clone thing from Infinity War, like stab it in its eye, and the other arms. In fact, rather than with the lasso whip thing, and then rip apart its eye like you did with that bus. In fact, do that from the start, unless for, only inanimate objects, in which case that's pretty useless, except for Infinity War, or maybe No Way Home, or any of these movies with a MacGuffin like Thor Love and Thunder, where they could have called him. I finally managed to stab it in the eye, and we do get a good scene of gore, so that's always nice. Just took you long enough, I guess.
Last night you were in my dream.
That's not okay, Strange, you R. Kelly-sounding ass. We then get an exposition scene basically explaining what we saw earlier. America Chavez can travel the multiverse, she can only control when she's afraid, Spider-Man can chew cum out of his butt. Oh, and she's a Spartanist like Strange. Great.
Although it does exist, the Book of Ashanti is said to be unreachable.
It is, except we reached it.
What a wonderful piece of dialogue. They see the other Strange's body who's up on a building. Okay, guess I missed something. And they bury him and learn that what caused his death was witchcraft. And deduce that going to Wanda must be the plan. Even though Strange knows how obviously not okay that is, and how not okay she is, he still tells her about America Chavez and her powers so that if she decides to get it, it's his fault. Yeah, I believe she already knew, but to him, she didn't, so yeah. Also, maybe he goes for someone who's still strong, like mentally and stuff like that, and also just strong as well, like Thor. Oh, but he's off-world, and there's no spell that can change that. Totally. But when she reveals she's crazy and has a Darkhold, and that her motivation for the film is to go to a multiverse where she has some kids, or her kids, just like kids in general, you kind of lose me. So, a couple things. Why her motivation Vision instead of kids? When she's been in love with, for so long and many years, and kind of caused WandaVision for, and even expanded that Hex thing when he was being torn apart in WandaVision, even though that was a fake version of him. It would make more sense. Or maybe even have her try to make him again, but instead it creates Ultron, and maybe you can redo that character, maybe even bring back Iron Man, or, I don't know, something like that. I mean, I guess she wants to be a mother, but wouldn't it be far more interesting to have her, take America Chavez as her child to try and have a real child or something like that? I get the Darkhold just wants a reason to take over all the universe, but it seems like she's been completely corrupted instead of partially, where you get some interesting dynamics, and, the Darkhold and her, that same part of her. Either way, she gives him and the others 24 hours to hand over America Chavez, and they're going to make Camartage a fortress. I mean, alright plan, you can get some of the Avengers to help fight back. Oh, no, you want archers and basic level sorcerers to fight back? Oh yeah, great plan, except for the fact that it sucks. Get real Avengers, or better yet, do that Mind Spell thing. I know it messed up really bad last time, but this should work. Why? Well, it's only for one person, no adjustments at the last second will have to be made. I mean, if we're going off the fact that the memory spell can erase some physical evidence, that means you can make the Darkhold name the Book of Ashanti disappear, and maybe even Wanda herself, so just do any of those, or you can keep her in an eternal falling loop like in Ragnarok. Wait, I forgot. That they forgot.
You had to make terrible sacrifices.
I blew a hole through the head of the man I loved, and it meant nothing. Do not speak to me of sacrifice, Stephen Strange.
But he was agreeing with you? Did they improvise these on different weeks or something like that, with the other actor not around? One is some stupid hypocritical stuff because she's gone insane, but again, there's no interesting dynamics, or maybe in the thing where, in Split, each version gets some time to actually be in control and fight each other for who deserves it, and you see how different they act, or just something and end up changing this for the better. She says, sending the monsters instead of her was mercy, which I don't think it was. You made several people aware of her existence and are about to end several of them just for fighting back. You could have killed her in a less populated area than, say, a fucking city with thousands of people, or at least hundreds. Turns out she can actually go to people's minds or whatever and make them do what she wants, like running away, which she could have done for America Chavez to lure in an unprotected area or get Strange to disable the shields, but maybe I'm missing something. Shit goes down and Strange puts Wanda in the mirror dimension, which would stop her from theoretically doing a damn thing, yet his sling ring gets destroyed. Might have been useful earlier when people were setting up a shield. I mean, you can just have any power you want, don't you? You're just in creative mode whenever it suits the writer. Oh, it turns out there's puddles in the room now and they have to cover it, as if that will stop this literal god from changing her powers at will. Also, if she can go through water mainly because of the reflective aspect, what about eyes? If you want them gone so bad, just go through Strange and Wong's eye and just rip them apart. Oh wait, I guess that would be too powerful now, wouldn't it? But I at least like the horror aspect of the scene and the contortions done by Wanda, so that's pretty cool. They fight with neither Strange nor Wong teleporting her to a different place, or again, the eternal falling thing, at least for a bit, or hell, do the clone thing, or whatever other spell. Or rip through the multiverses opened by Chavez, and she and Strange go through, but not Wanda, strangely. I mean, I know close is quick, but with all the shit she can do, I think being fast won't be too unbelievable. They go through some interesting universes, but only briefly until they land on a significantly less interesting one. Honestly, the biggest change is green means stop and red means go. The place honestly looks like Chernobyl in a few decades. It's a little disappointing. Oh wait, it has pizza balls. Never mind, it's all good. They find Bruce Campbell. While the scene is funny, they should have maybe tried to ask what he meant when he talked about the cloak Strange had only being in a museum. That would imply something, right? I mean, you can mess around with him for a bit, not for 3 weeks like he says.
Stop in a few minutes?
About 3 weeks.
Yeah, that man could have helped you find this Doctor Strange and stop female Osama bin Laden from killing everybody. But no, we need to have an indeed funny scene that's totally leisurely. Not much tension, is there? They run into Memory Lane, which honestly just sounds like a bit of a fucking nightmare. You can scan your memories and find the best one suited to mess with your emotions in under 5 seconds. Seems like an easy way to use that info against you. Hell, we even have the issue to an extent now, and people have made it clear that they have a problem with it. This would not be in the middle of a busy place. It would be in the dark web, or... We get a bit of development for this version's Doctor Strange, because I guess that counts as a character arc, have only 1 or 2 scenes that actually have them go through a tiny change. Oh, we also learned something about America Chavez's parents. They lived a peaceful life, but unfortunately since they picked themselves instead of Travis Scott, they get sent down to the 8th circle of hell to watch The Flash on repeat.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
So, I guess this is how characterization works, just a random ass thing that shouldn't exist, showing the characterization for these characters, instead of the decisions they make in the dialogue. Alright, they find this version of Mordo, and apparently Earth 616 version, our version, or the main movie's version, went crazy and tried to kill Strange, and a bunch of stuff that happened completely off screen. Nice, but it turns out this one is totally nice and won't do some predictably crazy shit to keep the plot going since we're only 47 minutes in. They decide to drink what they're given and make themselves vulnerable, Strange not remembering when he went to Wanda for help similarly, and she ended up causing all this chaos. Might be, a bit better to be more alert and don't drink anything in case they, spike it, which they do and pass on a weird trippy bit of editing, but not before setting up Wanda's dreamwalking where she can exist in other versions of herself, but for a limited amount of time. We then get a nice little scene where she dreamwalks into another version of herself in a decently tense sequence that worked well, especially in theaters, so that's nice. But unfortunately, we then get the biggest desecration of reality known to man, the ice cream song.
We like ice cream like every child should. And if we get some ice cream, we promise to be good.
Wow, this isn't a Grammy-winning, genre-defying song. You should be fucking publicly executed, Transformers Dark of the Moon style.
Yourself. No, Optimus!
Matter of fact, if her kids doing this doo-doo-ass ice cream song was the reason for it going buck wild, all his film's faults are completely removed. Being serious, though, it's just like some random child song. I don't know why everyone got up in arms about it, but I guess it's just kind of funny to make fun of it. But, you know, it's children. We then see how easy it is to destroy the Darkhold by just stabbing it. What? If it's that easy, why can't you tell Doctor Strange and have him teleport you there and stab it? And hell, do the same to Wanda if you want to. All these lives could have been stopped had you done it a while ago before anyone could get to it and be influenced. I mean, is this some super duper special dagger of like Magnum cum nardis? What the fuck? If so, I don't remember it being set up and it's just another MacGuffin. Come on, this shit's annoying. She starts torturing some random sorcerers to get Wong to tell her where to find this type of power, and he tells her to go to Mount Woundagore, which is a cool name, I guess. Strange and Chavez wake up in these testing chambers. Basically, in this version, Christine tells Strange it's because of, among other things, they might bring radiation, which kind of reminds me of Transformers, how they actually emit radiation, apparently, in those Michael Bay movies. So in that case, Chavez must be fucking Chernobyl, considering how many times she's traveled. Also, Strange might have it because of the villains from No Way Home doing the same thing, essentially, but these movies don't really like to connect to each other that often. Mordo and some Ultron bots. Okay, don't see that being a thing, actually working, based on how, they acted in Age of Ultron, but maybe this Iron Man was different. Maybe he believed in Scientology and it fixed everything. Wong and Wanda reach Mount Woundagore and find some monsters that are somewhat frightening looking, but not very urgent in defending this place of immense power. Great job, guys. But it might be because they recognize the Scarlet Witch, Wanda, and bowed down to her. So I guess there's that. We then get the Illuminati scene where Captain Carter, Black Bolt, Captain Marvel, and Reed Richards appear for his court. Scene, I guess. Fortunately, Saul Goodman is nowhere to be found. I guess they never appeared for their IQ exam, because these guys are about as smart as the villains planned from No Way Home. They say the biggest threat to the multiverse from their experience is Doctor Strange himself, but keep in mind when I tell you why later that's so, like why they're the biggest threat. Professor X shows up and the Illuminati reveals their Strange turned to the Darkhold and dreamwalked in order to stop Thanos, which I guess maybe led to an incursion. So dreamwalking into another reality causes incursions, which makes the ending not very happy and should theoretically destroy Earth 616, but I don't know, I mean, maybe it works differently. They say that he had inadvertently caused it, so I don't know, it's a bit too vague to know. But this also theoretically makes Chavez's parents responsible for an incursion somewhere as they were launched into a universe and never seemed to get out. Or, who knows. Professor X says they used Vishanti to kill Thanos, but one threat remained. Strange, because I guess he could cause incursions and would be dangerous or something. I don't know, didn't seem dangerous, but either way he gets killed by Black Bolt. So if this is why they consider Strange to be this biggest threat, they're pretty fucking dumb. He was only a threat because he had used some dangerous ways to stop a formidable threat that could wipe out billions, if not trillions, and was corrupted or something. There's no evidence to suggest that this Strange had the same, especially considering his fingers aren't black like that Strange or this Wanda. Plus, Professor X can read minds. Why not have him see what happened to this Doctor Strange, realize he's actually good but just a little dumb, help him stop Wanda, and not cause an incursion by leaving a larger footprint by staying in there longer? This doesn't make any sense. Oh no, but every Strange is capable of being a threat because his power is being used in the wrong hand or if he's corrupted. Also, like every hero, including you guys, if you did the wrong thing or get corrupted, nice fucking logic. Their logic literally makes no sense. This Strange never once said he used the Darkhold, which corrupts people. He just needed the Vishanti, which, as far as my Richards had told me, is basically the opposite. You guys are morons! By this logic, you should all kill yourselves as you guys can make bad choices or get corrupted, donuts. Am I missing something? Please tell me if I'm missing something and I'll, reconsider this actually being, maybe smart or just not dumb. Wanda enters and starts killing the Ultrons, and four of the Illuminati leave with Professor X actually being smart and nice by helping Doctor Strange, and for that the old man must die. But before that, we get this rather infamous scene where the four of them get killed by being rather dumb. Mainly Black Bolt, but yeah. Rita wanted to talk, and instead of taking all the chaos she caused as a cue to absolutely fucking obliterate her, with Black Bolt pretending to say, where the Book of Vishanti is, and say, psych bitch or some shit like that. He tells her Black Bolt's power, and she removes his mouth. Oh, so she can just literally do anything. Alright. And instead of still breathing through his nose, maybe even directed at Wanda and trying to remain calm, I mean, you'd have to be if you were this guy, he freaks out and dies in a gory way. Reed gets turned into Twizzlers, but she strangely never tries that for the others to make it quick. Maybe her range isn't good. Would be nice if this was maybe cleverly set up, but okay. She fights the two in a decent fight and slices Captain Carter in half, and hey, there's some blood, like another 2022 blockbuster that had a bunch of potentially gory kills, but I'll cover that film sometime soon. So there's that. One absorbs Captain Marvel's power, which she maybe should have done as soon as she heard Black Bolt, can kill people just by speaking and kill all four of them by saying that, being like, suck my fucking dick or some shit, say anything, literally just saying sorry or like, hi, just literally anything. She could have just absorbed his powers, but who cares? It's not like some random teenager is going to pick this movie apart months after its release. We cut back to Mordor and Strange, but since Strange believes Kylie Jenner will beat Travis Scott in a twerk-off, Mordor challenges him to a fight for his wrong opinion. Travis just breaks some of the glass because I guess she's scared and maybe starting to control it. I mean, a little early, but I'd like more development of this. Strange teaching her lessons and they reveal more about themselves through how they respond to each other's advice or something. Professor X finally pays his dues for being in the Emoji Movie after somehow losing a mind battle, despite having decades of experience. Shit, this is like a child wrote parts of it. Wanda is way too powerful and can just do anything.
This Steven is different. He is. It doesn't matter about all the other Stevens. You're not like them.
You guys haven't really gone through that much together. Yeah, he tried to save you, but so did the other Doctor Strange. The problem with this is, besides a few brief moments, you don't really see a relationship between them. She's honestly just kind of a side character, elevated to secondary-ish character, without the genuine development over the several scenes. Actually, I don't know about secondary, maybe third, because Doctor Strange is secondary, because Wanda seems to be taking up all the time. It doesn't matter. It's just over, the development over the several scenes where you try to see them change, but obviously they haven't had their arc yet. They don't do that, so it just doesn't work. That's the problem with these, action scenes in a lot of these movies. The action sequences and all this stuff feel like they will happen regardless of who the person is and how they are. So you either rush to the development or just straight up don't give them it at all. Honestly, the whole Camartage scene just does not happen because of Doctor Strange's traits that have been set up. It happens because he's just stupid and puts his trust into someone he knows is bad just for that action sequence. The mirror dimension scene does not happen because of previously established rules or traits of a character that would allow them to overcome it. It's just Wanda's ambiguous power set that changes whenever the hell it needs to. Hell, even this whole Illuminati segment does not happen because the character's traits have been set up, rather than being out of character and too trusting, despite literally only an hour or so ago, that fucking you over. It does not happen to really serve as a character arc because it does not make sense and does not contribute to the character arc in a meaningful and actually consistent way that has a good setup that makes sense. The whole theme is apparently about parenting, Doctor Strange becoming a mentor to Chavez, and showing us she's actually in control of her powers because she sent them where they need to be, except she only sent them to 2 dimensions that ended up helping him a bit. The whole mentoring bit thing does not work. He barely mentors her. If anything, she mentors him and how the multiverse works, and they just kind of go through the beats. But since this video is getting a bit long and I have a bunch of school stuff to do, I'm just going to start summarizing the rest of the film a bit quicker. The 3 get chased by Wanda barefoot, which must have made Quentin Tarantino go feral, in a decently done sequence, but only one not very scary. I don't believe for a second that any of them will really die. Maybe Christine, but the other 2, nah. One of them is a new character introduced. I doubt in these types of films will die, actually. And the other is a character that is just so fucking magical they need him later, and is just such a likable character. And they really don't kill off these types of characters. I just don't believe that they're gonna die. I just really don't. Maybe a little bit, but really not that much. They stop after a door starts getting wet for no reason other than a jump scare. Not the only thing wet. How the fuck did I say that? They run away and find the Book of Vishanti, but it gets destroyed, and the other 2 get sent to another dimension, and Wanda brings Chavez to where Wanda's dreamwalking from. We get some cool, weird, dreamy shit where Strange and Christine walk through an incursion, which I kind of wish this film focused more on, or I guess it's a multiverse and showing unique ones. Strange finds his version that guards the Darkhold in the next scene where we learn that he was corrupted and killed the other Strange because they got too little pussy. Would have been cooler had we see the dreams of the others dying, so this moment is like an oh shit connection, but it's still cool. We get a musical notes fight scene which is goofy in the best way possible, and is, just unique and entertaining, which ends with the sinister Strange getting impaled, and we see Wong unconscious, but somehow with a strong grip on his weapon. Don't think that's possible, but okay. Strange uses the Darkhold, but has Christine help in case the souls of the damned try to attack him for trespassing and dream walks into the dead Strange from the opening who got booty tickled. Pretty sure his brain might have started rotting, making it harder, but who knows. He dreamwalks until he gets found by the souls of the damned who reveal they found his tweets from 2012 and attempt to cancel him, but Christine helps him, but since he's a League of Legends player, he jizzes his pants at the touch of a woman. 2 edgy jokes in 30 seconds. Wow, that is a new record. A low record, but still. Strange finally stops the souls of the damned and make them look into a cloak of sorts in a really cool, kind of edgy, but still really cool way. Now, this is what I want. This is the cool, maddening shit I wish was in this film more. Wanda somehow isn't able to overcome the damn souls, so she's preoccupied while Strange helps Chavez have her undeveloped car. Like, it's not a bad idea, but it's just not done enough. There's not many discussions where some new ground is tread about the idea, where you see her trying to incorporate some lessons she was taught, and still failing, or maybe even someone succeeding. It's like a thing they'll mention a few times at best. She beats up Wanda, but when she's about to fall and is distracted, doesn't try hitting or kicking her once. She sees the children scared and realizes all the horrible things she's done that's really just been about her, not for anyone else. And the other Wanda that actually had the kids comfort her in a nice scene that birthed some unfortunate memes. America on long leave as Doctor Strange exits dreamwalking and Wanda dies in another nice scene. It might sound a little fucked to say that a person dying is a nice scene, but, she's a bad character, but she's realizing and she's dying in a kind of a poetic way or just like a nice way. It's kind of like sad, a bit kind of. It's just a nice scene. It's done well. Kamar-Taj gets rebuilt and America and Strange talk briefly before he fixes his watch, signaling him moving forward and finally being happy with his life, which is kind of a thing that's been set up. Like, he always has to be the one to do the first thing. He can't let other people's do it, and he's not really sure about him being happy, which the other Strange was talking about, like, because, the others weren't happy. I know I said, they get too little pussy, but that's basically what I meant, and I was just saying as a joke, they're not very happy. It's this whole theme. It's done somewhat well. I think it's done a bit better than America Chavez's arc and stuff like this, but it doesn't really feel like a amazingly done arc. It's just like decent, because there's only a few scenes really dedicated to it. Oh, and he gets a third eye, but the post-credit scene reveals that he's completely fine with it, but not before some cool credits reminding me of Venom's credits. And that was Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And it's mediocre, I think. It has some good actors, but they're not given much to do. Xochitl Gomez, I think that's how to pronounce it. Xochitl? I don't know, I'm not sure. Someone could correct me, that'd be nice. Is good in the Babysitters Club, which also has Mark Evan Jackson from Kong Skull Island, who was in it for like 80 minutes or longer, and then had 3 lines. Either way, she was good in Babysitters Club, like really good, but here she isn't really given much to do in between the setup for her arc and the one scene to pay it off. In between, it's just her sharing her dramatic backstory and just talking about the same. It's not gradual, it's kind of quick. Benedict is also good, but Strange is just kind of ruined. Not as much as in No Way Home, but still it's not that great. Elizabeth Olsen is doing her best, and there are some good moments, but Wanda's just too evil. There's nothing interesting about her. She's just stupidly evil. Her logic makes no sense. Something that even Fallen Kingdom, but not Dominion, but I'll get to that movie someday, managed to actually kind of avoid for Mills. If her logic made more sense, if there was a struggle between the Darkhold and Wanda going back and forth, we could have had a memorable, heck, maybe even iconic villain, but here she's just fine. The rest are doing a good job, but their characters range from not bad to stupid as hell. It's not very scary bar a few moments because we know neither of them will die, and a bunch of action sequences make no sense. The first 2 aren't terrible, but even the second one has some logic gaps. One is too inconsistently powerful. She needs to be nerfed. Well, I guess now she's dead, but if she ever comes back and just in the movie, she needs to be nerfed. The multiverse stuff is only delved in a surface level way. The scene where they travel, multiple of them, is really nice, but once we get to the one we spend a lot of time in, it really feels like an afterthought of an idea despite being part of the title. Maybe Everything Everywhere All at Once does it better, but not everything is bad. Like I said, the actors are good, and they're given some development, just not a lot, and I do love Sam Raimi's directing and campiness. It's very enjoyable. It makes it feel like a bit more of a unique outing than some other ones. It's paced rather well, and the effects look really good, unlike some others. But that's unfortunately about it. Overall, it's a case of an above-average director and actors given a below-average script with some exemplary moments of cleverness and horror backed with some unfortunate scenes of stupidity and failed potential, making it an average but entertaining film to watch nonetheless. Go ahead and check it out if you have 2 free hours to spend. There's much worse ways to spend that time, but there's also better. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like or subscribe, so, showing your support and that you want me to continue with this and that you like these types of videos. You can follow me on Instagram. Apologies for the goofy name. It's what my channel used to be called, or one of the several names. And the lack of a picture of me on my profile picture. I lost a bunch of photos, so yeah. And, I don't know, my hair just looks weird a lot of time. I don't know, I'm just not very confident in it. I don't know. It's just, I lost a lot of photos is like the main reason. You can join my Discord group where I'm sometimes active. It's just because nothing really happens and I'm busy doing other stuff. Or you can follow me on TikTok where I'll upload something eventually. See you when my next video gets completed. Bye-bye.